Okay, well, good morning, everybody, for the daily briefing on the 3rd of April. Yeah, there we go. Everything's starting to work. I think summer is definitely here because the Wi-Fi has gone to a dreadfully slow pace. And yeah, thank you for your patience. High pressure over Scandinavia, bringing down with it the sort of easterly flow we're starting to see over the country, swapping from sort of north to east. And I'm pleased to say it's going to be dry for the next few days at least. As we go through into tomorrow, that high pressure will continue to sit over the top of us and shall be reasonably nice. Can't really look too far ahead at the bank holiday weekend as of yet, but it does look, at least for the moment, that the dreadful March, and certainly the worst I've seen, has come to an end. Winds at heights looking generally in our area, probably easterly at around sort of 15 to 20 knots or so at flying heights. On the ground, that a little bit lighter. Satellite picture of the UK. Well, there was a frost this morning. In some areas, we're now seeing just a little bit of low cloud, but out the window at Lasham, some isolated cloud, whole nice and clear and nice and spring-like. Top temperature today of 11 degrees, and as we look at that forecast, looks like easterly straight down the runway all day, and looks like there'll be another frost tonight, with another nice day coming tomorrow. GFS generally agrees with a top temperature of around 11 degrees today, and your dew points, which I'll just get loaded up, are somewhere in the region of around 3 degrees. Okay, currently at Ogium we have a temperature of 2 degrees, dew point of 1, and pressure's high, and that's northeasterly wind that you can see there. Nothing too much in David's forecast. Does talk about the chance of 2 to 300k. I think he's downgraded that based on how it went yesterday. I was flying from Dunstable and it was rather moist, to say the least, but the picture outside currently is that, and looks like at least we're going to get a day with reasonable amounts of sunshine. Our temperatures then, well, I think the weather station's fallen over again, fortunately, so that's no use, but yeah, looking reasonably nice outside. Okay, on to the soaring forecast from Top Meteo. Looking at potential flight distance for today, looks really reasonable if you consider that, but it did sort of say similarly yesterday, so it's maybe not taking into account how damp the ground is and how much moisture there is in the air. But as we look from start time, remember we are now in British summertime, so everything is Zulu using this generally. Not particularly soarable to begin with, but by lunchtime, this sort of 12 o'clock, looking with cumulus at around 3,000 feet above Lasham. And then this afternoon, as it keeps going up, looking like cumulus 3,500 feet above Lasham, and that would seem about right for today. More wider, obviously windward coasts not so good. There is the chance always of some sea air coming in off the estuary and off the North Sea. But as we look down into Somerset and out into the Cotswolds and the West Midlands, it does look reasonably good indeed. Areas of blue potentially at times, and I think the public forecast showing sun at times does mean that we will see reduced amounts of Q. But given how much cloud we saw, I think it was one of the dullest marches on record. We can't really complain too much. Cloud amounts then for today. This is lunchtime, and you can see a good spattering of cumulus. And as the day goes on, we will potentially see it reduce in our area as convection dies off. End of the day, really. We're looking around, does look like it will start to go on fairly late, but probably around 6 o'clock or so, starting to cut off. Okay, so I think to sum up today, a half decent day given the fact that of how bad of a March we've got. The ground is still very wet, so you won't really want to land out, but I would suggest today's a nice day to go flying. Okay, airspace-wise, a few things to consider today. Paraglider is operating just to the east of Southampton, so you might see them there. There is a restricted area for drones only at Portsmouth Naval Dockyard. That's going to be there for most of the summer, so yeah, don't feel it affects you too much, though it's quite low, so you'd have to be landing on the Queen Elizabeth to really be that concerned. Some parachuting NOTAMs though, 29 would appear to be that there's an article drop going on today at Abingdon. That's up to 3,100 feet between 12:30 local and 5. We've also got what appears to be that parachuting at Bryce. Yes, parachuting at Bryce all day up to 7,300 feet between 10 and 5. I imagine Western on the Green is probably active as well. In addition to that, Little Rislington ATZ is active. That isn't normally active all year round. It's because the Air Cadets are gliding there. They're very, very good on the radio. So if you are passing through there, do give them a call, and they have to let you in pretty much as part of what's been agreed. 26 just to the east of Benson. Again, Dorchester, Oxfordshire. Hopefully I got their place name right. Yeah, parachuting up to 3,200 feet. So yeah, quite a lot of parachuting going on in that area. I suggest if you are around there, then have a chat to Benson or to Bryce about what is going on. And yeah, but it does look like there is some parachuting in that area today. So one to keep an eye out on. Operation local to us, it is supposed to be Farnborough ILS calibration day. So that does mean that we have a twin-engined aircraft which will come through the overhead a lot. The pilot will give us a call on the radio and on the phone before he comes. But it does look like there'll be periods between probably about 11 or 12 where there might be brief interruptions to launching. And if you could just have your radios on, please, just like you always should, then you'll hear me calling where this aircraft is. It's got to have the ability to do the ILS calibration. So that will come through the overhead at varying levels between maybe 1,000 feet above ground and 3,500 to 4,000 feet. But if you line up on Farnborough, then you'll know exactly where it's going to be. So yes, and jet movement wise today, there's a jet movement around 3:30 departure to Gatwick, which had happened yesterday. So operationally, today 09 is going to be in use. Now I am aware yesterday was a bit of a tricky. I imagine it's not that much better, but I think if we try to operate as standard as possible, we will have launching off winch launching off the south side. We'll decide whether the grass has dried out enough to launch off the grass, but launching winching off the south side, excuse me about drawing, and aero towing off the north side. What we will need to make sure is as you're towing your cars out with the gliders and whatnot, that you don't get it bogged down. My suggestion is don't sit right next to the perimeter track, and if you do want to rig up this end, then you are more than welcome to. I think there's still plenty of spaces there, but return your trailer after you have done your flying for the day. So yeah, there's quite a lot of standing water and stuff down this end of the airfield, so I wouldn't advise towing down there, but generally it should start to dry out, so it should be better than yesterday. So yeah, runway 09, nice soarable day with some cross-country potential and a few things to consider about in the NOTAMs. So yeah, keep up to date and we'll see you out there. Bye for now.